All right, welcome back to the Thursday edition of Weeknights. We're back once again. Oh, that was a little Ole.
Yep.
Okay. It's Ole. That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're back, man. Listen, I'm gonna be real. There's not a lot to talk about today.
No.
It's probably gonna be a quick one. And truly, I would have loved the night off, but we have a commitment and we are here delivering the goods. You know what I'm saying?
Or the bad tonight.
We're the bads tonight. It's a little bit of both. You know what I'm saying? A
Yeah.
little bit of both. So we're gonna talk about it. But first some intros. Who you be?
I'm Dash, aka Dashing D, aka the King of R&B.
Well, I don't know. We're gonna see. You might have to stop saying that after this conversation today.
Mm-mm.
But we'll see. We'll talk about it. We'll get into
No.
it. I am JD, aka He Who Pods, and I'm gonna sit forward because I feel like you close and I'm far. You know what I'm saying? Let's see a little even Steven here. So
Yeah.
you want to start with celebrations, or you want to start with not celebrations?
Um. Let's start with someone we haven't talked about in a while. Let's start there.
Oh, the opposite of neither one of those. All right.
Neither one of us. Yep.
Well, it was recently, uh, I guess, announced
Mm-hmm.
that Nicki Minaj and well,
And yours, Bobby.
I guess it's that Monica is joining Nicki Minaj tour.
Yes. She's joining the Pink Friday 2 tour as Nicki Minaj's special guest.
No.
That is the way it was worded. Is she has a song. She has a feature on Nicki's album.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah,
didn't see that.
forget what it's called, but she has a feature on Nicki's album, and she'll be joining her.
Nice.
So that she announced it on the Jennifer Hudson show
Uh-huh.
last week, I think,
Okay.
and yeah, exciting to hear that Monica's going to be out on the scene and singing, and I've always loved Monica. I actually learned in reading about this, I learned that she released a single last year. I did not know this.
Shame on us for that.
I know. I listened to it. I
And
listened
how
to it.
was it?
I didn't love it. It's called
Oh,
Letters. Um, I didn't love it,
got it.
but I love Monica. I
Oh,
feel like
okay. Yep. I didn't even know this existed. Under the newest deluxe, released on January 12th,
mm-hmm.
there's a song called Love Me Enough,
That's what it is.
featuring Monica and Keisha
And
Cole.
Keisha Cole. Yeah,
I had no idea. Now I gotta go listen to that.
yeah. That I didn't listen to, but I did listen to Monica's single from last year. I had no idea, so I thought that was cool that she released some music recently. Um, that's kind of exciting. I like Monica. I do.
Me too.
The tour is gonna run from March through May, through the middle of May, beginning of March to the middle of May. So hope y'all got your Pink Friday tickets.
Right. So y'all could go
'Cause-
see the shit starting ladies together.
okay, that's
No, you don't think so?
that's what we do it.
I
I,
mean, I'm
al-
making I'm making jokes, but
I also read something, and I didn't have time to read too deep into this, but I also read something that the year before in 2022 she had done something with Ty Dolla Sign. Um, so I need to
Who,
look for
Monica?
that. Monica, yeah. So I need to look for that as well. I think that would be an interesting one. I need to check for that.
Yeah, listen, Monica's dope. Monica is a legend. She's been doing her thing for eons at this point. I mean, Monica
Since
was
it
a
was one of them
teenage
days.
exactly. Monica was a teenage uh
Sensation.
artist and sensation. Yeah, absolutely. So,
Mhm.
the fact that Monica's still out and active is really fly. I was making jokes about shit starting, you didn't like my joke, but that's all right. Um,
I mean, it was what it was. I just didn't want to go down Nikki be starting with people
no, it was
road.
just jokes.
So,
It
yeah.
was just jokes. We
But
already came on here and said everything we had to say about Nikki a while ago.
yeah.
Good
So,
stuff, mostly.
yeah.
Um, I mean, listen, it's dope. It's dope. I think it's very cool that one of the top acts of today is bringing in a legend to join them on the tour. I always think that's fly, and I always think it's cool when we see uh either an OG giving a well, I guess they're both OGs today. I was gonna say a
Yeah.
younger person a thing, but Nicki been in the game 20 years, so
Yeah.
I guess I can't say that.
Yeah.
I was gonna say an older person giving a younger person an opportunity and vice versa, but it's not really how it goes here. This is more of two
Yeah.
icons coming together.
Yeah. I don't think the age disparity is that wide.
No, no, I
Um,
don't.
yeah. But yeah, I think it's super cool. So, I will wait for the footage to land on TikTok. I don't know that I'll be going to Nicki Minaj's concert.
You ain't going to
But,
be with the Barbs?
never say never, but I don't know that, I don't know that that's in my cards. So,
Got it.
I will wait for the TikTok footage, and so make sure y'all take good videos. Okay, because I look for them.
Oh man. All right.
I hate when y'all go to concerts and y'all take weird angles, and then I got to look for other videos because your video wasn't good enough.
Tell them why you mad, son.
Please get it together when you're posting. Like, y'all were really good about Beyonce. When you're posting, please make sure that you're thinking of me. When you're taking those angles, make sure that you get good angles. I want to hear the artist. I want to see the artist. If you're in the nosebleeds, I don't want your videos.
Oh
Unless you have
man.
a drone or something. I don't want
Discrimination.
those.
No
Not
drones allowed in the
discrimination. It's
stadium.
just not going to be a good video. And we know this. And so we just need to prepare properly. Now, if you have
But you
good
don't think
seats,
if they got the new Apple 15, they can, hit the 3 times zoom, you know what I mean?
no.
No?
Because an up close image will still be better than a zoomed in image. Zoom is cool. Don't get me wrong. I use Zoom all the time. But that up close image, there's nothing like that.
Got it.
You
All
know,
right.
I want to see like the hair stand up on their necks. You know, the
Got
sweat
it.
beads dripping down when they get all flushed and excited because they're under the lights and things. Yeah, but so make sure y'all do me proud when you post your videos because somebody's got to say it.
And you have said it.
I've said it.
And now they're gonna come at you. So
Sure. But so we mentioned Ty Dolla Sign. I purposely mentioned Ty Dolla Sign because I know we got to
that was
talk a
that
little
was
bit
your that was
about.
the start of the segue?
That was the start of the segue. Um, Ty Dolla Sign and Kanye. I mean, it wouldn't be a Kanye release
Without
without
some drama.
some drama,
Yeah.
okay? And there has been drama, but Fuga, ooh, you have taken the yawns away from me.
Sorry, I'm
Thank you.
tired today, man.
It's all good.
It's one of those days, not trying to be like Monica, but it's one of them days, you know, that a girl goes through. You know what I'm saying?
You're angry inside?
Maybe,
Please don't take it out on me.
Nah, can't do that. Can't take your anger out on your co-host. That's foul.
Exactly. So the story is that there is this distribution company called
Fuga.
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 Yes. And they are a distribution platform for record labels.
Right.
And apparently last year when Kanye was looking for a place to distribute his album, or him and Ty Dolla $ign's album, he ran into some problems because, people believe he's an anti-Semite. And he ran into some issues trying to secure distribution for the album. So I believe that's also part of why the album has been pushed back from whenever it was whenever they originally wanted to release it. So to that end, Fuga was one of the companies who declined to distribute Kanye's album.
Yep.
Somehow, a company that is affiliated with Fuga released Kanye's album, released Vultures I through Fuga,
Through Fuga.
which then distributed. It's like they described it as like some sort of automated system that just they can put it through, kind of like how we upload things to Spotify and whatever, and it just goes through. It's not like there's no overlord sitting there going, "What are you uploading to Spotify? And are we approving this?" It's not. It doesn't work like that. We kind of just upload our content, and then the content gets distributed wherever. So similar situation. They put the album on there. It gets distributed to all the DSPs, Apple Music, Spotify, wherever. And Fuga isn't happy because Fuga found out. I mean, the people at Fuga probably were like, "Oh, I wonder who decided to distribute the album," and then learned that
Lo
it
and
was,
behold.
oh, it's us.
Right.
So they are
Say,
currently
nigga, that's you.
working. Right. So they are currently working to try to get the album taken down off of Apple Music. I read something that said that it was taken down, but I went on Apple Music shortly before we started, and I still see the album there. So
Right.
either it was taken down and put back up, maybe they came to some sort of agreement, or it wasn't taken down at all. Or the album just downloaded on my phone, and it's not. Sometimes when you do a download on your phone, it takes a while for it to cycle through whatever changes have been made. So maybe it's available now, but won't be available tomorrow. Who knows? But there's that conversation again, similar to, not similar, but some of what was said yesterday when we were having the conversation about Kanye and how people are reacting to comments he's made in the last couple of years, and people not wanting to be in business with him.
Right.
But obviously Kanye always finds a way. So he found a way this time. I don't know what happens if they take it down, but I'm sure he'll find someplace else to put it.
Yeah.
So
I don't want to cut you off. Go ahead.
no, I'm done.
Oh. Yeah, so a few things. This is big business, right? Like it's no small potatoes here, it's no small fries.
Mm-hmm.
This is big business stuff we're talking about. What I think is interesting is a couple of things. I said yesterday, but we didn't get to dive in that the album was independent.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at the distributor in the credits, it says Yeezy. And so I thought that was really interesting that he's doing his own independent thing, and then we find out that there's still more problems.
Mm-hmm.
So, this is it seems like Kanye's having an uphill struggle, which is understandable. If you couple this with the fact that he said he's having problems not pursuing,
Finding venues.
securing venues,
Yeah.
yes. securing venues is painting a picture of the struggle Kanye's having behind the scenes. And I think this is really interesting because what we're seeing is, yeah, Kanye's got money, but Kanye has ruined relationships.
Yeah.
And I think that furthers my point from yesterday about the Super Bowl ad. I think that the Super Bowl ad and the success of Vultures is what Kanye might need to be able to do the things he wants to do moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I think that truly this is a very awkward situation, but there's a lot of ways of looking at it, right? One way to look at it is the chickens came home to roost. You know,
Yeah.
the things you've done are now coming back.
Mm-hmm.
Another way of looking at it is, you know, having money or not, you're still gonna have certain struggles if you don't have certain relationships.
Right.
Um, but I do
And you're
remember
not Jesus. You're not above it. You're not beyond it. Carry on.
if I say I'm God, I'm
He says it's him, Hitler, and God. Like, I can't get that out of my mind. It's so hard for me to forget that he said that. And he really
yep.
truly believes that. He believes that he is beyond consequence. And in some ways, he is. In some ways, he is. Because money, power, maybe not the respect, but money and power
I'm about to say
gets
money,
you.
power, and respect.
No, I don't think. I think there's a lot of people who don't have respect for Kanye West, but I think that money and power afford him the opportunities, his connections too. Like, I want to know what the relationships are like, the ones where he was able to leverage his extended family, his in-laws. I wonder what those relationships look like today.
Hmm.
And I only say that because I know that he was tight with his mother-in-law, and she's a powerhouse. she, if you want somebody to get the deal done,
Right.
she'll get the deal done. So I just wonder what does that look like now? Because people are tired. Like, how many times you have to tell somebody that they're offensive before you're like, well, oh, you're that way. You're not, you know. So I don't know. I think in some ways he is beyond consequence because he's still able to put out Adidas products. He's still able to put out albums like nothing ever happened and make lyrics about the things that he has said. Because again, if you catch the line on Vultures, it's there. I
Yeah.
don't need to say what it is, but I don't know. I don't know. I'm sorry. I just wanted to say the Jesus thing. I didn't mean to go on a whole rant
No,
while
it's
you
fine.
were trying to
That's
talk.
why we have this platform.
Yeah, it's just.
Um,
Uh, no, I'm good.
yeah,
Go.
I think. Oh, go ahead.
No, I said I'm good. You go.
Oh. Yeah, I think it's interesting. Um, I don't think he's above reproach. I think that there are consequences. I think the opposite. I think there are consequences. I think that we are seeing some of them happen right
Yeah,
now. Yeah.
it's back. This is the first time I've yawned on the pod and
In a
all
couple
week.
of days now, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I think we are seeing some of the things that he's facing, right? I think we are
Mhm.
seeing this struggle with Fuga, his distribution issue there, him trying to solidify venues for the tour. I think we are seeing some of those struggles, and I think that's what happens when you while out, and really when you just don't play ball, right? We've seen this in other
Mm.
industries. Yeah.
All right, stop calling it out.
All right, sorry. We've seen we've seen this in other industries where when you don't play ball,
Mm-hmm.
well, then the powers that be will make
Mm-hmm.
things difficult for you to maneuver. You know what I'm saying? You not saying you can't still do what you do, but we're gonna make it a little difficult for you. Why? Because you won't play ball. You feel what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Um, so and I think that spans across a lot of industries. I mean, this ain't the sexual intellectual podcast, but I think it even spans in politics. I think even in politics, when you won't play ball, they'd be like, "Oh, nah, we got to get somebody else that's gonna play ball." So I think that's what happens. I think that when you have a situation where you are not willing to kind of bend to what the powers that be or the higher ups are requesting of you, require of you, trying to force you to do,
Mm-hmm.
but then you kind of have a new struggle, right? Because now, even though you're a megastar, which Kanye is,
Mm-hmm.
we still see that there's a struggle happening. It's still you could do it. We're not saying you can't do it, but you're not gonna be able to do it the same way as like, college dropout, late registration, graduation, that's had a lot of machines behind you at that point. Now you gotta be your own machine, right? So you have to be more creative.
Mm-hmm.
You have to figure out new ways to circumvent the situations that are coming at you. Um, I think it's an interesting situation. I'm not on one side of the fence or the other. I'm
Mm-hmm.
just I'm just sitting back and watching. I know there are people who feel like, "Oh, good for Kanye because these are his consequences." I don't feel that way. And I know there are other people who feel like, "Man, Kanye's a victim and this is messed up." I'm not on either side of that debate. I'm just here sitting and watching and taking notes. There's a lot of things that Kanye has done that are very interesting to me. Um, and I think what we're seeing is that he's able to endure and create new opportunities for himself, whether that's selling the merch for $20 or doing a zero budget Super Bowl ad and tripling my return. I think that's very creative. I think that speaks to his genius. That you know, some people don't like to admit that he has. In closing, and then I pass the ball back to you. Speaking of playing ball, I really feel bad for Ty Dolla Sign, man, because
I was gonna say that
now
was gonna be my
he's
next thought.
guilty by association.
He's caught up in the mess.
Caught up in the mess, and I'm sure Ty Dolla Sign knew that was a possibility when he
Mm-hmm.
signed up to do several Vultures projects.
Yeah.
But I feel bad because Ty Dolla Sign kind of carries that project. It's Ty Dolla Sign and the Beats.
I mean,
So
you gotta know who you're getting into bed with. You gotta be. I think Ty Dolla, like you said, Ty Dolla Sign likely knew that there would be some drawbacks to this. They are doing Rolling Loud though.
we'll see. Because if you don't got no album, how do you do Rolling Loud?
Oh well, yeah. I just feel like you'll find Kanye in a field like off of where Rolling Loud is, like not at the actual venue, but he'll do like something where he'll like
Sunday
create,
service across the street?
yeah, or like create some like secret flyers and like maybe have somebody go into Rolling Loud, throw the flyers up in the air, and whoever finds it, it takes them to this secret location, and there they are, going rogue and performing the album. That's what I see Kanye doing. And I again, you spoke to his genius, and those are the things that set him apart from so many others. I
Yeah.
could totally see him doing something like that, or maybe a bit more sophisticated than the way I described it, but or maybe not. But um totally can see him finding a way around it. There's
But they
always a
may not need
loophole.
to.
Maybe not.
Because actually, as I said sarcastically, how you perform without having an album, even if the album gets stripped, people know the album, people bought
Mhm.
the album, people saved the album, and people will be bumping the album. So yeah, them headlining Rolling Loud speaks volumes, and yes, they will be definitely performing at Rolling Loud. I would be shocked if after this announcement we just did not see them perform at Rolling Loud.
And I think they did this knowing that it was probably going to be threatened to be taken down. I
Possibly.
I think knowing what we know about him, knowing all the things that you just said about him, and how smart he is when it comes to selling himself and selling his products and selling his music. I think that Kanye has the type of brain that says, Ty Dolla Sign is probably like, what are we gonna do? We can't put it on Fuga.
Right.
And I could totally see Kanye in Kanye's mind. He's like, well, it's better to get it out and have it taken down a few days later than to not have put it out at all. So part of me feels like he knew it was coming. He knew it would create buzz. Here we are talking about him a second night in a row. I think this is all a part of his. I think a lot of times, as unhinged as Kanye may present himself, I think when it comes to things like this in particular, not the other things, but when it comes to things like this in particular, I don't think it's happenstance.
Mm.
I think it's intentional. I think when one door closes, I think he considers and weighs out what would happen if he broke down the door, or if he went around the door, or went upstairs and then climbed through the window. Something, you know what I mean? I think that's well thought out. There's maybe things that he does and says that don't quite make sense and are outside of this sort of thing, the music and whatnot. But I think when it comes to the music and his products and things like that, I think he thinks all of this through. I don't think it just falls out of the sky. Pun intended.
That was good. I think that the only thing is it's hard to fight all of these big fights at once. He's trying to fight the music industry, the fashion industry, the copyright laws. Like, these are big things he's trying to change and fight against.
Yeah.
Even with the copyrights, which we didn't really get into, just real quick, like, he's basically saying I tried to get permission to get a bunch of sample clearances and y'all told me no. I'm putting the music out anyway. We'll deal with it in court.
Can we talk about that another day? Can we not? I'm not stopping you from saying what you're about to say, but can we have a deeper conversation about when people put out music that wasn't allowed or wasn't approved?
Yeah, of course.
I would love to deep dive a little bit more on that.
Yeah, we can talk about that. Not against that at all. I have thoughts and data and stuff on that. But my point is he's fighting big fights. And I don't know how many big fights you could fight at the same time. Like, it's one thing to say I'm gonna fight Godzilla, but you're gonna fight all the monsters? Like, you just gonna battle everybody by yourself with no squad? Like, I don't know how well that was gonna work. Like, I don't know how many battles of this magnitude Kanye can take on. Not because he's incapable, but because these are huge fights you're trying to fight. Like, you're trying to fight Mike Tyson and Muhammad Ali and Mayweather all at the same time. Like, I don't know how you do that and come out unscathed. And I don't think he's worried about coming out unscathed, but
No.
I don't know how you survive 3 big fights, 4 big fights at the same time. And that's the part that's kind of challenging, because I just don't know how you survive all 3 of those. And maybe more will be revealed. Maybe he will not only survive but come out on top. Maybe he'll be the reason copyright laws change. I could see that. But I just wonder, but what happens to him as he fights these huge fights,
I think I think he sees himself as someone who lives on an island alone.
Mm.
And I think that's probably why, I'm not saying it doesn't faze him, but that's probably why he's able to continue to fight, whatever that may mean. That's the only reason I put the air quotes, because whatever that means.
Mm-hmm.
That's why he's able to continue to do that, because he is existing on this island where no one understands. And that's not meant to be sarcastic. I think that's what he really thinks. Like, he knows how he has his worldview. And a lot of times it's most people, if not all people, don't get it and don't understand how he sees the world should work. So I think that contributes to him being able to juggle the balls and fight over here and over there and everywhere. And it's not necessarily a good thing, just from a, I don't want to I don't want to speak about his mental health, but just anyone's mental health is challenged when you have that much on your shoulders. So, as much as he gets on my nerves, as much as he frustrates me,
Mm-hmm.
that is a thought in my mind that, yeah, he carries a lot. I mean, whether he brought it on himself or not, it's still
Mm-hmm.
in his lap.
Yeah,
So
it's a lot.
yeah, so I that's a true statement, but I don't know. I don't know. I think that's how he is able to exist. That he's just like, well, I'm over here and they don't really get it, so I'm gonna just be over here. I'm okay with being over here and dying on this hill, and if they get it, they get it. If they don't, I gotta do it anyway.
Gotcha.
So
All right.
yeah.
Well, we do have one more thing before we go.
Happy news.
Very happy news, in my opinion. Um, make sure I quote it correctly because this is an important one.
I just want to get your attention. We'll sing his favorite song. I really want to be all up in your head. 'Cause when I ask you, I want to get some.
All right. So stop looking down. Usher's Confessions is now the highest RIAA certified album by a male soloist released this century.
Amazing. Amazing.
14
Incredible.
times platinum.
14 times platinum. You better get
And of
yours.
course, that's for Confessions.
I love the I love the ride he's on right now. I really do. I love that he's able to celebrate himself. I love that he's getting his flowers. I've said all these things before. I would give him flowers personally if I could. Nothing else to be said. Usher's great. Y'all know how I feel about him. I could talk about him for the next hour. I won't, but I could.
I feel you. I think this is really cool. Congratulations to Usher. And, I want to say something that might be a little controversial. I don't know.
That's for Usher.
It's like, what is she doing? What is she doing over there? Why is
I,
she
I,
just throwing
I
up the
had
peace sign?
I
Like,
had to do it for Usher.
no, it's fine. That was good. Um,
Sorry.
it's fine. Oh, I know. I was gonna say maybe this is controversial. I don't know. But Usher out here breaking Super Bowl watch records allegedly.
Most watched Super Bowl in
Allegedly, I don't know if I believe that,
forever
but
or something like that
yeah, in history,
in
allegedly. I don't
history.
know if I believe that, but that's what they say. So
Oh, I
that's
believe
number.
it.
Well, they
Okay.
say that a lot. That's why I don't know if I believe it. Like
I
every
think
other year, they say it's the most watched Super Bowl. So
I don't think it has anything to do with Usher.
got it, Swifty.
Yeah.
So But my point is, Usher out here doing big things. Longest Super Bowl performance, most watched Super Bowl performance, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Most record sales ever for this century for a male solo artist. And you know what I don't hear Usher doing?
Mm-hmm.
Bragging and telling us about all his records every chance he gets. I think Usher is an example of how you could be great and humble. Because there are other artists who want to let us know every chance they get, I passed the Beatles, about to pass Michael Jackson, I've passed Michael Jackson. I'm truly the greatest, and I don't know why y'all say I'm not. And then here's Usher, who's the greatest, and ain't said shit about it. Even when Shannon Sharp brought it up, all Usher said was, "Thank you." That's it.
I see you trying to shade someone else in the process.
I'm saying that, listen,
I,
there are other
I
artists, because
see.
Drake is not the only one. Yes, I'm mentioning Drake. That's who I'm mentioning. I got no,
Mm-hmm.
I don't need to pull my punches. Yeah, I'm talking about Drake, but Drake's not the only one. Jay-Z has done the same thing. There's a lot of artists who they like
Nicki
to
does
talk
it.
their big shit. Who?
Nicki does it. I actually thought when you first started, then you started listing things, and I was like, okay. But when you first started, I thought you were talking about Nicki. I was like, oh, we were just saying nice things.
Oh no, I think there's a lot of artists who do this, and
Yeah.
mostly rappers, sure, because it's a braggadocious industry,
Mhm.
and that's part of the key components of rap is being able to talk your shit.
Yeah.
But here's Usher
Mm-hmm. A
not saying
consummate
anything,
professional.
much like Outkast, don't really say anything. Maybe it has to do with being from Atlanta.
I'm not
I
doing this
don't know.
with you. Nope. I'm not doing this with you. We're
What?
not going to region wars. That's not.
No, I'm trying to give Atlanta a compliment. I'm
Oh,
saying
is that what you're
maybe.
doing? You gonna stir some stuff up?
I'm just saying that Atlanta seems to have some humble legends.
That's great.
Maybe that's why, because Outkast, they not talking big shit. Even in the interview that I keep referencing that I now don't like, Andre
Uh-huh.
3000, when they told him, "Hey, did you see you guys recently broke a record for a number one rap album ever?" He's just like, "Yeah, that was cool. We did that."
Yeah.
He didn't mush the cameraman and be like, "Yeah, we the greatest. Nobody ever be like this." Just was
I
like,
think
"Thanks. Yeah, that was cool."
I'm gonna be honest with you. I think the world needs both. I think we need the people who are way more humble and can just say thank you and move on. And I think we also need the people who are braggadocious, talk their shit, and talk about it. I think the world. I think they all can't be the same, and they're artists. So we gotta expect some of them to be a little quirky, and a little out there, and a little braggadocious, and a little in your face.
Got it.
So I'm okay with having both of those things exist. I do like Usher's demeanor. I enjoy the fact that he's just like I think he even when he brags, it's like humble brag. It's not very in your face. It's just like I know who I am. I know what I've done. I don't need to be validated by these metrics or by other people or whatever it is. So
Yeah,
I appreciate that about him.
same.
So yeah, congratulations, Sasha.
Yes.
And congratulations to us for making it through this episode.
Yes.
Yeah. Until tomorrow,
I'm
guys.
going back to bed. Nah, I wish I could.
Oh, me too.
I wish I could. But life goes on, in the words of Tupac.
Yep.
So we out of here. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. We will see y'all tomorrow night.
Bye.